Alright everybody, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best Asian football youngsters in the world. I'm going to be giving you all my 5 players that I would say are the best youngsters in Asian football right now. It's not in chronological order, it's all players 22 and younger, and I'm going to include an additional player as an honorable mention. And make sure to stick around to the end of this video because we're going to be talking about a player that could be the next big South Korean star in the Premier League, like Heung-min's son or Ji-sun Park. So make sure to stick around to the end because you don't want to miss that. If you guys are a big fan of Asian football and more specifically the Iranian national team, this is the channel that you need to be at, so make sure to subscribe right now. And if there's any players that I missed out on that I didn't include in this video, let me know in the comments down below. If this video does really well, we get over 100 likes, I'll do a part 2 mentioning another slate of Asian footballers to do a part 2. So if you guys want to see that, smash the like button, comment players that I should include in the next one, and let's jump into it. For honorable mention, of course, I gotta include one of my Iranian boys in this video. So I've gone with Mohammad Javad Hosseinnejad, who is a 21-year-old attacking midfield that plays for Dynamo Makhachkala. So in my opinion, Hosseinnejad is probably one of, if not the best Iranian youngsters right now, and it pains me that he doesn't get more minutes on the senior national team because I think Iran lack creativeness in the midfield and especially in attacking mid position that he does occupy. He previously played for Sepahan, made the move to the Russian league, was very close to joining Serbian giants Red Star Belgrade, but that move just didn't pan out. I think the big thing for him is consistently playing right now for Dynamo, cleaning up that end product, getting more goals, and then making a bigger jump in Europe. He's a player that I think could make those bigger jumps, is be successful in a top 5 league in Europe. It's just a matter of him being ambitious, unlike a plethora of other Iranians that have had the type of potential he has had opportunities to go play in Europe, but just weren't ambitious, weren't able to take that risk, build a pathway for other Iranian footballers, and just be that first guy to do it. But based off everything I've seen when it comes to Hosseinnejad, I think he can be that guy. He seems like he wants to go to play in Europe, he wants to improve his game, he wants to inspire other young Iranians to go play and be successful in some of the top leagues in Europe. So I'm pretty bullish on him, and I think he will pan out and be a great player for Iran in the future. So now first up for the 5 players that I'm going to mention, and again I want to emphasize this is not in chronological order. We got to go with Abdukodir Khusanov, who just recently joined Manchester City. He's a 21-year-old center back. Khusanov is probably on the top of everybody's list when it comes to Asian football youngsters. He just joined arguably one of the best teams in the world in Manchester City for the second highest amount of money paid for an Asian footballer, so there's a lot of expectations on his shoulders. Uzbekistan have never had a talent nearly as good as Khusanov, and things have just kind of been up and down for him at Manchester City, but that is kind of something you would expect for a guy that just a few years ago was just playing in Uzbekistan, then made the move to France, and now is playing for Manchester City. He was not going to be an instant smash hit, and there's always this stigma if a guy doesn't score a hat trick in his first couple games for his new team, he's going to be a bust. That's not how football life works. It's going to take time for him to gel into the team. As long as Pep Guardiola consistently plays him, shows him that confidence that, hey, I'm always going to back you, Khusanov. I'm always going to put you in the lineup when I think is the right time. As long as he gets those consistent minutes in the Premier League, Champions League, X, Y, and Z, I think Khusanov's going to be a great center back. Because even if it doesn't work at Manchester City, but he has good moments throughout his time there, yeah, there might not always be those 10 out of 10 performances, but you can see the potential in him. There might be another European team that comes knocking on the door, maybe in the Bundesliga, Serie A, because sometimes the Premier League just ain't for everybody, and that's not a problem. As long as he can stay in Europe, play for a top team, he's going to be the future for center backs in Asia, and especially for Uzbekistan. And this could help build, like I talked about with Hosseinnejad, a pathway for other Uzbek players to make these type of jumps. Because the reality is, for all these youngsters we're going to talk about in this video, they're going to have to try to be the pathway for their national teams to have other players be successful in Europe. They have to be those pioneers, and that's going to be the key emphasis throughout this video. Now next up is Zion Suzuki, who is a 22-year-old goalkeeper for Japan that currently plays for Parma. When it comes to Zion Suzuki, he was the absolute laughingstock during the Asian Cup. My man was horrendous during that tournament, but instead of sulking, whittling in a corner, he has absolutely turned it around. He made a big jump to the Serie A with Parma, and he has been a standout goalkeeper in Italy. He is like a a completely different person. And this is the type of perseverance and ambition you want to see from players in Asia. Because if we want to see Asian football grow, we need to see a lot more players be a Ji-sun Park, be a Son in Europe, be successful, be the big players for top clubs in the world. I think why we've seen Zion Suzuki have such great success at Parma is because he's such a good modern style goalkeeper. I think the only thing that he really needs to work on is his shot stopping, which, don't get me wrong, it's not bad because it was way worse in the Asian Cup, but it definitely would need to improve. I think once those things improve, he's going to be a top goalkeeper. So maybe Zion Suzuki could be the next great goalkeeper. I mean, he's still fairly young. 22 in goalkeeping years is nothing. My guy could still be playing for another 10 to 12 more years. And right now he's already playing for a pretty good club in Italy, so the world is his oyster at this point. And now next up is Arif Aiman, who is a 22-year-old right winger for Malaysia, who currently plays for Johor Darul Ta'zim. My goodness, the name of that club team that he plays for is an absolute mouthful. Arif Aiman could be the next big thing for Malaysian football. He has been killing it this season, not only just for his club team, but as well in the Asian Champions League Elite. If you watch him play, which I definitely recommend you all watch some highlight comps of this guy, he has an absolute rocket of a shot. Asian football fans are drooling over him because he looks really good. He's very techy, he's quick, as I said, has a really good shot on him, just needs to be a little bit more consistent in the final third. He could be the biggest star to ever come out of Malaysia. He has that much potential. I think the most important thing for him is to make the next jump, be it joining a higher caliber Asian football team, maybe in Saudi Arabia or whatnot, but in my opinion, he just needs to go to Europe, maybe somewhere in like the Belgian league or the Dutch league, which are well renowned for developing and producing good young talent from across the globe. We have seen plenty of great Asian footballers go to those leagues and then use that as a springboard to go to better teams in Europe. So it is important for Aiman, with the current hype that he has, to use that to make a bigger move in his career. Because if I was a Malaysian footballer right now, I would be chomping at the bit for this guy because he could be so big for this national team. And now next up is Marselino Ferdinan, who is a 20-year-old center attacking midfielder that currently plays for Oxford United. Another video, another shout talking about Indonesia, but more specifically, their golden boy Ferdinan. This guy has been the centerpiece when it comes to this whole rising of Indonesia in Asian football. From his performances from the recent Asian Cup to right now in World Cup qualification, Marselino Ferdinan is the real deal for them. If Indonesia want to see success, Ferdinan has got to be the focal point for that. If you guys saw him in the Asian Cup or right now in World Cup qualification, he is one of the most entertaining attacking midfielders I have watched. He's very similar to Hosseinnejad, who I mentioned as my honorable mention, but I think he's just that little bit more polished. He has great footwork, great dribbling ability, but I think the one thing that he lacks, similar to Hosseinnejad, is that quality in the final third when it comes to getting that goal, creating his own chances to score from 20 yards out, top of the box. That type of elite center attacking midfielder killer instinct. He currently plays for a pretty good team at Oxford United. He just needs to keep getting consistent game time, and as I've already mentioned, I'm going to keep beating on this dead horse, make another bigger jump in Europe. Oxford United is a perfect springboard for him. I mean, they play in the second division in England. He's literally just one step away, if his team was good, to playing in the Premier League. And imagine that, the scenes for Indonesian football fans if they have a player playing in the Premier League. And Ferdinand could be that guy. He's the second youngest player that I'm going to be talking about in this video. He's only 20 years old. We've seen it at international level with Indonesia. He is a huge star for him there, but now he's got to be a star at club level as well. And now moving on to the final player in this video. It is a player that Tottenham just recently signed who could be the next Son, Min-hyeok, who is an 18-year-old right winger for South Korea. So when it comes to Yang, he is the youngest player that I'm going to be talking about in this video. He is just 18 years old. And he just recently signed for Tottenham, but then went on loan to QPR, which I think is totally fine, but it is massive that he is playing for one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. I mean, this guy, from all the players that I mentioned, maybe even right now in Asian football, has the biggest potential. He was a big breakout star when he was playing in the K-League. It was unheard of the stats he had when he was playing there at just 16, 17 years old. And thanks to his fellow countryman Son, who was able to pave that path for South Korean footballers at Tottenham in the Premier League, Tottenham saw him and were like, hey, we could have the next Son right there. The literal like for like replacement. I mean, he literally plays winger. He could be a huge star star for South Korea. It is literally a match made in heaven. So it was an easy signing for Tottenham to make. Obviously, the question will be next year, once this season ends, can he break into the Tottenham team, get actual minutes for Tottenham? I think it will be a little bit different than compared to Son, because Son came a little bit more later in his career. He was still young, but not 18, 19 years old. If he can get half decent minutes, be a role player for the team, get starts here and there in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, maybe the odd Premier League game, I think that's going to be invaluable experience just to be around and to get that conditioning in the Premier League. You've seen it with so many other top players in Asia right now, even if they're not out and out starters, but if they're playing for top teams in Europe, how much of a cloth above they are of other players that don't, even though they may get consistent minutes in good teams in Asia. Playing in Europe, and especially playing for a top team, being a part of that group, being a part of that training, being a part of that conditioning, just makes a whole big difference. Let's say if things just don't work out where he has to do another loan spell away from Tottenham, I think it is important for him to go to a team that will consistently play him. Gets that experience in Europe, because the reality is playing in Europe is a lot different than playing in the K-League. That's going to make the world of difference for him. South Korea have a plethora of really good players, but Hyuk could be even better than all of them. He could even be better than Son. Genuinely, he has such a great opportunity on his hand. He's only 18 years old. And for him and literally every player I mentioned in this video, I want to see them do well. I want to see more younger Asian football talents be successful in Europe, because it's only gonna make the Confederation, Asian national teams so much better. So I am dying here for these guys to come good. Even though, yes, I'm an Iranian national team fan, and yeah, I would love Hosseinnejad to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. But for every single player I talked about in this video, I want to see them all be good. I want to see them all be successful. I want to see them all be the next Sons, Dais, Nakamura's, whatever iconic Asian footballer you want to mention. And they all can do that. They just got to have the ambition, the determination to make it happen. And I think they all could. But yeah, boys and girls, I think that's the best place to end this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button on today's video. Let me know any other Asian football youngsters that I didn't mention in this video that you guys want to see me talk about in a part 2 to this video. Let me know your thoughts. As I said, if you're a big fan of Asian football, this is the channel that you need to be at before the 2026 World Cup, so make sure to subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video next, where I graded Asia's biggest football transfers, and then click over here as I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.